What's up everyone, my name is Vince G, and today I wanted to talk about this lens right here. This is the Sigma 45mm F2.8. I was actually able to get my hands on this lens recently, and I really haven't had much time to actually use it, but me and my wife recently took a trip to Big Bend National State Park and was actually able to put this to the test. Now there are some things that I wanted to talk about, those pros and cons, so let's go ahead and get into that. So the reason why I picked up this lens was because of the size and weight of it. It comes in at a little over 7.5 ounces, which is really nice. But taking that into consideration, this lens is still built very well. I like the way it feels, and I love the way it feels when it's attached to the S5. So on the inside, you do get 8 elements in 7 different groups, and you also have 7 rounded aperture blades that give you that creamy bokeh at f2.8. This is a really cool lens because it has a clickable aperture from f2.8 all the way to f22. Now, if you wanted to, you could also set it to A if you wanted to let the camera do the aperture automatically. You do get an AF/MF focus selector as well if you wanted to do manual focus on the fly. Now, the manual focus is still fly-by-wire, but in my opinion, it's not too bad at all. Now, the other thing that I really liked about it is the lens hood that Sigma included. Hear this. It sounds very, very nice, and it gives an overall nice weight to the lens without making it feel super cheap. Now, the last thing I wanted to mention is that it does have a 55mm filter size thread, which is pretty common nowadays. So let's talk about the autofocus with the Sigma 45mm f2.8. Now, we all know that Lumix is known for not having the world-class autofocusing system, but I'm here to tell you that the Sigma 45mm actually performs quite well, especially on an S5. Now, as you can tell in this example here, I have it attached to the S1R in autofocus single mode, and it actually did quite well. It actually hit the subject pretty fast. It's still not as fast as something like the Lumix Pro 50mm 1.4, but for something that you just walk around and take on vacation, it doesn't do that bad. Now, when it comes to this lens focusing on video, I really didn't have much of an issue with it as well. It is a little bit slower than something like the S line of lenses, but it's not as bad as you would think. I think this lens, if you're doing something talking head just like this, I think it could perform very, very well as long as you know how to use this lens to its potential. I wouldn't have high expectations in the autofocus department, but it's not the worst thing that you'll ever use. So before I dive into the image quality, let's go ahead and take a look at some of the photos that I was able to get with this lens and the Lumix S5 and the S1R all throughout South Texas and here in San Antonio as well. So now that you saw all those images, let me know what you thought about them in the comment section down below. Now, to wrap up my opinion on the image quality of the 45mm f2.8, I am really happy with what I was able to get out of this lens, especially when I paired it to the S1R with its high resolution sensor. This lens is actually really sharp. It is a little soft at 2.8, but it's not bad where I didn't want to use it at 2.8. When I was still on vacation, like I said, I shot a lot of the images at f2.8, and I found it to be very nice, even though it was soft around the edges. But again, it was just for vacation, and I didn't need sharp images, but I was still happy with it regardless. Now, if you got this for free and it's just sitting in your bag or your closet, I encourage you to put it to use. I think you will be very happy with what you'll be able to get out of this lens. But that wraps up everything I have to say about the Sigma 45mm f2.8. If you like this video, make sure to give me a thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments regarding the lens, feel free to drop it in the comment section down below. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please consider doing so. It would help me out a lot. Again, my name is Vince G. I'll check you guys out next time.